Yeah, hi, my name is Damen Campbell from HGH Vallarta Clinic.
My name's Leon. I'm working with Damen here at HGH Vallarta Clinic.
So why don't you ask me when did I start at HGH? You know what I mean?
Right. Well,
Yeah.
So 8 years ago, right?
Yeah, right. I started using HGH when I was 41 years old. I was kind of not feeling well at the time. I just, I just closed a restaurant I had opened, and, I was not feeling well, and I wasn't recovering from my workouts,
You've always gone to the gym, right? Since you were young?
Yeah, I've always gone to the gym.
You've always worked out. You have always been very active.
I've always gone to the gym, but it's been going on for years where I just kind of I don't want to say it was tough. It just wasn't, my energy was down. So one of my friends, an older guy at the time, said, well, let's try some HGH. And I wound up going to a doctor here by the name of Patino, and this kind of goes as well. So I went with him, we went over there, and he gave me Sizan, and really, literally, within 2 weeks of starting, my bench went up 30%, my squats went up, my recovery time improved. I was like, the clouds lifted in the sky, and I started feeling much, much better. And I was like, holy cow. It was like, wow, this stuff actually really works. I mean, obviously, you got to eat good and get your sleep and work out to feel the results. And so when I originally with Patino, I got my blood work done. And, my IGF was, I think it was like, if I remember right, it was like 180 or something like that. And it wasn't terribly low, but his advice was, you want to get between 250 and 350 on your IGF-1. Because you want to be basically, what the idea of HRT is to kind of get your levels to where they were when you were younger.
Right.
It's a concept. And my testosterone was 455. He goes, you don't really need to take testosterone. So I waited for that, and I added testosterone probably, I think I added it like 3 months later. And it was another boost, and it was like, I've been doing it ever since, and I'm 50 now.
I remember you tried the DECA as well.
Yeah, I mean, right, I tried DECA probably 2 years ago, something like that. And, the recommendation with DECA was to do, because you need to take it along with testosterone, and to do, it comes in, what the box is like 2 syringes of 50 milligrams each.
Yes, it's 250 milligrams.
So the recommendation was to start at one 50 milligram injection, and then you can go up to 2 if you want, and do that for like 10 or 12 weeks. Well, I did it, and I got huge. I was ridiculous. I was into 2X. Whatever. But I couldn't fit in my shirts anymore. And I was like, I don't want to look like, I don't want to get this big. It's too much. So I'm not using that stuff. Now, we do have some clients that are older that'll take one of those 50 milligrams, and they'll do like a small dose, like once a week, like
really?
15 milligrams at a time. And they'll make it less, because they say it's really good for your ligaments. And so when you get older, when you're getting older, so they like that stuff.
Your joints are stronger. You can stabilize the weight. You lift more. You get more muscle.
Mm-hmm. I didn't really know Patino that well, but he was. I don't think he's around anymore. But he went and he did 4 years of hard time, because he was.
Wait, he went to jail?
Yeah, he went to jail. Yeah,
wow.
he was because you know what, he was smuggling HGH into the States and selling it, I believe, at a clinic. Out in St. Louis, and they were selling it to professional wrestlers over there, and the whole thing just collapsed. There was guys doing a lot of counterfeit shit around here. It was really shady. I don't know what he was doing, but this stuff wasn't from the big pharma. This stuff was out of other country. It wasn't like off-brand stuff, and they were pushing it, somehow, and he got nabbed. And that's when I wound up finding a lawyer by the name of Nathan Mays. And Nathan Mays is out of Texas, and he's a criminal defense attorney, and he represented Patino in his case.
I didn't know that.
But Mays gave me a lot of he told me, there's certain things you can do, and there's certain things you can't do. And when I decided, listen, the guy, he came in, he flew down here one time, we hung out with his girlfriend, and he talked to me, and he's given me some good advice over the years. First of all, we don't give legal advice.
First off, yes.
Yeah, that was it, because you're not lawyers.
Exactly.
You know, we're not a law firm. We can't give legal advice. And he's the one that gave me the phrase, you know, it's personal medication prescribed by a doctor while abroad. And that's really what it is. I mean, like,
but
if you
there's a
reference...
problem with this, like importation, right? If you ship medication into the U.S., obviously that's not FDA.
Yeah, but you're not... No, you're
know.
right. This is not an importation. This is just traveling with
personal
medication.
medication.
You know, there was a big thing out of Utah where the government, because of the soaring medical costs of the government employees, they actually issued an official statement from the Utah government stating that they encourage their employees to travel to Mexico for their personal medication.
Because there was low stock. This was during the pandemic, wasn't it? Or right after?
It may have been, yeah. It was around that time, but it was sometime in the last 4 years. And so they're encouraging their clients to travel to Mexico to get their personal medication. It kind of, you know, because it benefits everybody. I mean, so, you know, medical tourism is not something that is new.
Definitely not.
You know, this has been going on for decades. I mean, this is what people do.
What is far more common and for a long time is for people to do dental work here in Mexico.
Yeah, dental work.
A fraction of the price.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I remember it was like even the Beatles, and I forgot, but one of the guys it was some big group from a long time ago, and they had cancer, and they went to medical alternative. They're looking for alternative medical treatment in Mexico to treat cancer. I mean, these things exist, but you know, medicine in Mexico has come a long way fast. I mean, the medical system here is great. I mean, it's less expensive for everything. I mean, you want to go see, like I got 2 kids, and I got a girlfriend who just moved in with 2 more kids. And so when they need to go to doctor, I can go see a doctor for, you know,
$75.
70, I mean, 100 pesos. They'll go sit down with, you know, the kid just needs something, you know, to get his ears checked.
Right now it's like $6-7.
Yeah, I mean, so.
And it's good. I mean, these guys, you know, they're legit. They're actually working. Like that Roberto Gutierrez, a doctor. I mean, he's registered with the Mexican health authorities as officially as an endocrinologist. He's part of the Jalisco Society of Endocrinologists, which is, I mean, very good. I mean, he's very, very good. He's got incredible attention to detail. I mean, I've seen him dive through like I've seen him like write really super extensive letters as to like really a really specific case of a client that did like some extra blood testing because they were worried about some sort of cancer, I think, and they found one of the markers that was a little bit high, and the doctor said that these markers specifically meant that it was some sort of like benign. It was an indication of a benign tumor that would not be affected by the HGH hormone. And he linked and cited all of the recent studies.
Well, I mean, I don't want to say
it was incredible.
I don't want to say
pretty in depth.
The client's last name, but Alan, he came here with his kid, and he's a hedge fund manager out of New York, and he told me that he saw the top 4 pediatric endocrinologists in New York City. And they just frustrated the hell out of him. And he came down here, saw Gutierrez, and go, this is the best endocrinologist that we've run across. And we talked to the top 4 pediatric endocrinologists in New York City. And, you know, so...
And he's been a client ever since, right? I mean, this
kid grew like, it's grown like 10 inches. I think I talked to him, he's coming back in June. He said his son is 5'10" now. He also was one of the guys that started his son I believe at age 10.
10, right? Oh yeah.
So he got a good jump on it.
You know, with treatment, it's like the sooner you start, the better, because you get cases like Alan's son, where they actually, you know, they maximize like kind of their potential, right? Because we get a lot of kids who are like 14 and it's already like pretty late. In the case of boys. In the case of girls, you know, they need to start even sooner. Well, they mature a little bit faster than
Well, he started before puberty. And then when puberty started to hit, they decided to go with the puberty blocker for about a year to kind of give it more time because he had short stature, so give it a little more time to catch up.
Right.
With his normal growth. And then it was like magic once. Like Gutierrez said, he goes, once they get off the puberty blocker, puberty's going to kick in, and he's going to get a growth spurt, and that's exactly what happened. Oh. So now they're off the puberty blocker, and I believe this is probably the last year of treatment.
Like clockwork. Yeah, that's right. It's probably his last year, but that's good. I mean, he's seen already great results.
Yeah,
great, super good results. I mean, really, there's no reason why, like, I don't know, an insurance company or whoever needs to like hinder your child's potential to grow. I mean, let's be real here. If you see, I mean, as parents, I mean, you know, pretty early on.
Well, the thing is about, right, I mean, we talked about this earlier. I mean, what's the process in the States? You know, if you want to take a child to get growth hormone, now, the first thing you're going to do is go probably to your general practitioner. So that's going to include, making the appointment, showing up for the appointment. Usually these guys are jammed up, so you're going to have to wait an hour or so before you get in after your appointment time. And then you got to see the thing, and then he's going to recommend you. He's going to go through and he goes, hey, there may be an issue here, but I can't really identify it because this is not my specialty. Mm-hmm. So then they're going to have to fill out all the insurance paperwork to get that appointment covered, which might cost $300. And then they're going to go recommend it to a pediatric endocrinologist. And then that endocrinologist is going to see the kid. You're going to have to go through all those same steps again. And they're going to probably make sure, because in the States, to qualify, you need to go through the STIN test, which is a series of tests. And it takes about 5 days just to do that. And all this stuff is very expensive. And then besides the x-rays, the blood work, and then you got to do the STIM test. And then they're going to try to put you through the insurance program. And now you're up against an army of people whose job is to not cover this.
Yeah.
and then once you go up against them, I mean, the chances are they're going to reject you the first time. So what's happening now is the time is taking so much time, and it's a waste of time because time is at the essence because your growth plates are starting to close. Then once you get rejected, you start getting super frustrated. And then maybe you find some place like the Magic Foundation, which is an organization who specializes in actually almost exclusively in appealing the denials by the insurance companies, specifically relating to the denial of getting growth hormone coverage because how expensive it is. And so they say, I think the numbers were like 60% of the people get rejected, and maybe they get like 30% of those overturned. And so then this all takes time, and you don't have time because I wish.
Obviously, keep in mind these parents have a life. It's like they have their job, they have all sorts of things to worry about. Mm-hmm. And, let's say you get scheduled for a date where you just can't go, mm-hmm. and then you have to wait another 6 months. When again, time is of the essence. And by that time, and you're just incentivized to just not do the treatment, stop worrying about it because it's so frustrating. There's so many hoops you need to jump through, and then if you don't get it covered by insurance, it's just astronomically expensive.
It is, and it's obscene, and it's unaffordable. I mean, is really what it comes down to. And so,
our clients are very smart. They're very smart people. Because
they're smart.
They're looking for options outside of the country. Mm-hmm. So they know how they understand how the world operates. And then, hopefully they find us and they say, oh, wow, it's like, a fourth or a fifth of the cost it is per year in the U.S. with us?
Yeah.
It's like, why wouldn't you take a weekend off, just come have a vacation like in Vallarta or mm-hmm. Cancun or Cabo and, do the process in like 3-4 days max, at least here in Puerto Vallarta.
Well, the blood work and the X-ray are done on the same day. Yeah. And if the endocrinologist is extremely busy, but if the appointment's set, I mean, you can essentially do the blood work and you can arrive the next morning. You wake up, do the blood work, get the X-ray done, and either
get the results back.
Get the results back. And go see the doctor
the next day or the following day.
Yeah, or even later that day. Mm-hmm. And so, that's right.
Yeah, once you see the doctor, he just tells you what the dosage is going to look like, answers all your questions.
Yeah, the issue is insanity. Way these people are being treated in the States when they actually have something that needs to be treated, like short stature or what have you. I mean, typically the Prader-Willi and Turner syndrome conditions are going to be covered because that's more obvious and that's going to be recognized much earlier. And obviously, it's a significant thing. So, it's going to affect more than just your height. But yeah, you get rejected, and then people get frustrated, and everything gets delayed, and the time is money, and it's like, you can't put it off. And, like we were talking to Gutierrez last week or so ago, and he goes, you got to catch us earlier, the better. Mm-hmm. But, unfortunately, that's not the case for a lot of our clients. Most of our clients, the kids are already in puberty. And, you can't wait.
No.
Because it's like at that point, you need to know right then. And you need to get on it as soon as possible because once those growth plates are closed, there is nothing. And
it's over.
And but the great thing, there is an expected growth of 5 to 6 centimeters within the first 6 months of treatment. So if you try it for 6 months, there's a minimum expectation of that minimum. And so if you get that, well, then that's it. So that's what you want. You don't want to wait 5 or 6 months going through this circus that they put you through in the States and getting frustrated when you can just jump on it and see if it actually works.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and for girls, in the case of girls, since they mature faster, I think the oldest I've seen the doctor prescribe a girl is like 13. In my 3 years of being here.
Right.
Since November 2020.
Exactly.
And so, I mean, we've had very few girls. It's always been like more boys, because I've seen them take it up to like 16.
That's a cultural, psychological thing, I think with women.
Yeah, well, obviously, as
women,
as a man, you're more worried about your height.
Gutierrez was saying, typically in the Mexican culture, no one really worries much about the shorter girls. They don't think much of it. I mean, but so this is kind of not just Mexico. This is everywhere, but I mean, it's something to pay attention to. And if your child is not, if you mark them on the wall and they haven't grown for a substantial period of time, say 6, 8 months, a year, and there's a problem. Because kids need to be growing at a clip, I believe, of like 2 inches a year or something like that. And if there's no growth, well, it needs to be addressed. And the earlier, the better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And, it just all in their life, it helps out so much to be just a little bit taller. Mm-hmm. Just to kind of, it has to do a lot too with like fitting in. I remember being in like 12th grade or like 6th or 7th grade, mm-hmm. where I felt like, I wasn't very tall at all. Mm-hmm. I remember wanting very vividly to be taller. It's like, I want to be as tall as I can be.
Well, because everybody's going through different growth spurts at different times, and it's some people are early, some people are on time, and some people are later. And this is like that age. It's an awkward age, in your teens.
Yeah, the maximum. I think the oldest you can keep growing is like 19.
And it's I have 2 of them.
Yeah, now 4.
And now 4 of them. Yeah, no kidding. So anyway, this is the Humatrope device that was discontinued. Yeah. It's no longer available in Mexico. So that's another one you say goodbye to. This one was very leaky.
Sayonara.
This one always no one liked this one because it's always leaked.
Yeah.
But
well, in terms of pricing, really the difference, actually, genotropin and Saizen are very close to their pricing, right? And Omnitrope is like what, 20% less per year, is it?
Yeah.
It's like 25% less, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So there's another reason why people go for the Omnitrope.
Sandoz is the generic arm of Novartis, and that's their whole business model.
This stuff gets manufactured in Austria. So it's the
same quality. It's like Kirkland. I mean, far as, I got some golf clubs from Kirkland, these wedges, and they're fantastic. It's like everything. You go buy something from Kirkland, Nutella, they got this counter, they got this nut, they got this, and it's like, wow, this one is even better than the Nutella. So it's what it is. It's
like
all
the
good.
Kirkland version of pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. No, yeah, but yeah, big time. Yeah, there's been, there's been so many guys out there explaining kind of point for point what you need to do to actually be healthy. And it's like, get rid of the breads, get rid of the sugars,
Beer.
If you're going to drink, get rid of the beer. If you're going to drink like, who's Dana White's guy that he loves? Forget, like said, cut like 10 years off his life. He's a really smart guy. Mark, I think it's Mark Summer. Anyway, he says, either go with a really good tequila or a seltzer. The beers, it's like it's like oats and barley, and this is what you feed cows.
A lot of empty calories, right?
It was just, and so, I started doing ice baths every morning. That helped with my knee, my back, my energy, my mood, my recovery from everything. And it just, I do them, sometimes I do 2 a day. I mean, doing that. And trying to eat clean, all these all meat diets. It's like I've been trying to do that. Now I still cheat, but I primarily just eat all meat, and all these things, they have big improvements. I mean, like when I eat bread and have some sugars, I can feel it in my hands. It's like this fucking arthritis. I mean, it's like at 2 years, like I didn't have this 2 years ago, and now it's like shit.
They do this. They take out the fiber out of the bread so that you're hungry quicker once you've eaten bread. That's why the bread's like white now. You remember, I don't know if you ever saw, but, well, of course you did, but because the bread used to all kind of be brownish, kind of grayish, and that's because it had fiber.
Yeah, they genetically started, all the wheat all over the world was genetically modified about 40 years ago, and they've ruined it. So it's like, don't eat it. I mean.
And now you eat it, you feel it in your hands.
I don't know what the hell it is,
used to not be the case, right?
Well, no, I mean, take a look at how obese everybody is. I mean, I was just showing Kurt this morning, this video of Kevin Samuels. He's rest in peace. I mean, he had this woman on, and she's like, he's like, okay, so he goes through the routine. It's like, okay, well, how tall are you? 5'4". How much do you weigh? Well, she goes, I'm thick. She's like, how much do you weigh? It's like 200 pounds. He goes, honey, that ain't thick. That's obese. And
that's
and it's like these kids from eating
danger zone.
This shit. And it's like, yeah, it's everybody. I mean, you see everybody. These people are just enormous, and it's like it's just not healthy. And it's it's the food. It's not like people need to eat. I mean, it's just what they're eating is changed. I mean, it's not like the human being has changed. It's what they're putting into their body has changed, and it's
I mean, it's an industry. The food industry. It just wants you to be hungrier more often, so you spend money. Before lunch, you go to McDonald's and get a little quarter pounder or whatever, and you do that every day. I mean, that's how these corporations prevail.
Or you get the McMuffin. Anyway, I don't know, but this is so. It's not a conspiracy theory. There is a collusion of these gigantic corporations among each other to push a narrative of eat this good tasting shit. And take this drug,
right? And then they get
because these drugs.
Guess who owns the food industry, and guess who owns the pharma industry? BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street.
Yeah,
those are the big.
They own everything.
They're the big three.
They own 80% of everything. This is all great information.
It's not
coming
Kendrick,
out.
Drake,
everybody's
and J. Cole.
Everybody's making all this stuff very clear now. It's just this is what it is.
It's to the point where it's obvious.
It's not a secret anymore, and it's bad. I mean, these medications. I mean, what people are eating are causing them to have these conditions. Like people's minds are racing. They can't sleep. They have no energy. It's because they're eating this shit. And then it's like, okay, you take this drug like Xanax, and next thing you know, you're taking Xanax, and it's like, oh, I feel good. And then it's like, oh shit, I can't. Okay, start with a quarter pill. And then that was great. And then it's like, let's take another quarter. And then it's like, okay, I need to sleep. Let's take another quarter. Next thing you're up to like, you're up to taking 3 fucking milligrams a day of this stuff. And
you can't stop.
And then, that's the only way you can sleep. And really the sleep, and it keeps skyrocketing. Then because you're not sleeping well, you can't concentrate. Because you're not eating well and you're not sleeping well, you can't concentrate. So along comes Adderall. They just banned that in Mexico. That's no longer for sale.
Yeah.
And so then they take Adderall. I mean, we've had clients that said there's once in a while we get clients that request Adderall, and I get into a conversation, and there's complete high schools that everybody's on it, like the whole school. I mean, so you have these little kids that are just running around, teenagers, and they're all zooped up on Adderall. These are like, and they're performing better academically, but at what cost? And it's the cost of their mental health, their physical health, their well-being, their peace of mind, and they don't even know what this is. I mean, I've taken Xanax, I've taken Adderall, I've taken.
When do they get off it?
When?
When do they get off it?
When they stop.
Well, I mean, exactly. But I mean, these. Well, my point is like they make you take it, and it's not like, okay, it's only 6 months.
Well, it's addictive,
right? That's yeah.
I mean, and the thing is, you're under pressure to perform, and you can't perform without it, and but you're stuck in the school, in the prison, and you know, and you're competing against your classmates. And this is what you got to do, and you can't, that physics exam, that calculus exam, and it's like you need the Adderall to focus, to study, and it's like, and everybody's on it, and it's like this it's very bad.
It becomes who takes more. Who takes more out?
And then you have these kids, and then they go into mental breakdowns, and it's like, what do I want? My God, my son's going through, what do I do with my life right now? It's like, just how about you breathe? We'd start there.
Enjoy yourself.
Just take a deep breath.
Walk, enjoy the sun.
Exactly, because you're not going to figure it out in one day. Exactly. So
go to the beach and bring your binoculars.
Yeah. Which reminds me of the Ozempic. We also have Rybelsus, and I took Ozempic for.
By the way, Rybelsus is the pill form of Ozempic. The substance name is semaglutide or semaglutide. You take one pill daily. It comes in 7 milligram,
14 milligram,
14 milligram presentation tablets.
Right, and the Ozempic is once a week injection. I took it for about 2 months. What I came away with was, first of all, it works because it did kill my appetite. Like I was I was eating at one point like 5 times a day. And I was like, okay, I want to try to lose some weight. Or kind of get ripped to see what this stuff does. And I was eating like 1 time a day. And I was not hungry and I felt fine. What I like to say is like, it's a way to actually train yourself or to give yourself a test run on what it actually feels like to eat less. Yeah, and how you function with eating less, and this stuff will do that. I mean, you were telling me that you have a relative in Europe that was taking it.
Yep.
And they were taking the 2.7 milligram full doses, or what was it?
I think it was like 2 milligram or 2.2.
And what was your takeaway from that?
Well, he said that it worked like wonderfully. Like he lost a lot of weight, and yes, I mean he it's just my grandfather, my father's side. He's always been like heavy. But he lost a lot of weight. And suddenly, like this time I see him and he's like slim. I was like, wow. Well, good for you. I mean, I'm glad. And it's like, he's like, oh yeah, I'm just the Ozempic's like working and stuff. I take like 2 milligrams or like 2.2 milligrams. And I'm like, really? He's like, yeah. In the beginning, it would give me like these like, I would get like dizzy and like a little bit of headaches, but my appetite goes way down. But the thing is that when you come off it and you're on those high doses, the appetite just shoots way like back up like almost immediately, and you gain the weight back.
Right.
And so if he comes off it like cold turkey, like his appetite's just gonna come back and the weight goes up, and I think his blood sugar spikes or something like that. I don't remember exactly, but
right. So is he still on it?
He's gonna stay on it because over there in the UK the government gives it for free, I think. It's like for because he's a diabetic, so they use it for diabetes treatment.
Right.
Because it regulates your blood
exactly.
sugar.
Yeah, exactly.
That's like the on-label approved use, I think, for the U.S. and for
Ozempic, but it's Wegovy, isn't it? And they just kind of split it up. Wegovy.
Yeah, they made 2 brands.
Wegovy is the weight loss semaglutide, and the Ozempic's the diabetes semaglutide. In Mexico, only Ozempic is available, and Rybelsus, which is the pill form.
Yeah.
So we're kind of bouncing all over the place, but when it comes to actually taking, like somebody's taking pills, they all get processed through your liver, so it puts the stress on your liver. So when you inject it, it bypasses your liver, goes right into your blood, and it kind of saves your liver. So when you're taking these medications, it's better to do the injections, which is why people prefer, a lot of ways, the Ozempic once a week dosage over the Rybelsus daily pill deal. Mm-hmm. And it's the same thing with taking testosterone. It's like that's why they prefer the injectable testosterone versus the oral testosterone.
Well, actually, the oral is banned. What was that brand? Anavar, I think, is no longer legally for sale in the U.S., I believe. It used to be, and now it's not.
Yeah, there was different pills, testosterone pills and stuff like that. But
well, I think the reason was they said it was like toxic for your liver. It's like just really bad.
It's toxic for your liver, yeah, for sure.
It's bad.
There's a lot of HGH supplements that people take that are orally, and GNC, and I don't know, all these things. HGH supplement. The problem is none of them work because your stomach digests it, so it's done. It's like it's complete scams.
No effect.
Jacobs, our client, the bail bonds guy, was with Shaq, and Shaq had bought up his vitamin company, and he told me, I'm going to start taking this pill because look at Shaq, he's changed so much over the years. I think he was playing golf with him or something, and Shaq gave him a sales pitch on some new company he bought, and it's a fucking scam, And I don't know the name of the product, but it's like HGH and the thing. It's like, dude, it doesn't work. Yeah, but again, it doesn't prevent a guy like that from saying that it does. And so actually he was back. Yeah, this is Damen Campbell from HGH Vallarta.
That'll be all from us. My name's Leon. It was great being here. I'll be here more often.